Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, your host, Deadliest Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the most damage per minute tank at Tier 7. Now, if you were looking at the Black Prince, this vehicle sits at quite an impressive amount, 3,081. Pretty much the same reload as an E25 on the Black Prince. And yeah, that is an extremely impressive amount of damage per minute for a Tier 7 vehicle. However, if we make our way over to the Tank Destroyer class, there is a tank that has got 300, almost 400 more damage per minute. Now, the ISU 122S, yeah, it's sitting at a very large amount. It's 3,353. However, the AT-15A is sitting at 3,393 DPM, which therefore makes it, after the buff in World of Tanks Blitz, the highest DPM Tier 7 in the game. Now, the thing that buffed the average damage was it went up from, I think it was 160 to 200 average damage. A 40 alpha buff for every singular shot. That is a massive buff. I think it gave it 400 more DPM, which, yeah, that's pretty dang impressive. So this vehicle, the AT-15A, which is built off of the AT-15, the Tier 8 Tank Destroyer. So pretty much it's like grabbing the Tier 8 Tank Destroyer's hull armor and then just bringing it down a tier and still giving it an extremely deadly gun. Now, granted, it has 600 less damage per minute than the Tier 8 now, which has 4,000 DPM, but the AT-15A is not a tank to be reckoned with. It's got crazy DPM, more DPM, in fact, than every single tank on the enemy lineup. Yeah, you really don't want to mess with this weird-looking Tier 7 Tank Destroyer. So we're going to see what we can do in today's video. As always, if you enjoy it and you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, as it helps out the channel a crazy amount. So you'll notice some of the issues with the AT. Well, first of all, it's a non-turreted Tank Destroyer, which means flanking is very easy on it. Not only is it easy the Circle of Death, but yeah, that's my top speed, going 20. So yeah, that truck that's not stationary, honestly, is moving faster than us. So it does have occasional issues, but there are a couple good things as well. 10 degrees of gun depression is very nice. That means that you're flexible on pretty much any terrain, even though you are very slow. Not only does it have that, but it's got a decent power to weight ratio. It's got decent traverse speed as well. So while it is very easy to get behind, it's also very nice because you can shake some vehicles right off of you. Now, apparently, I was spotted somehow, and well, you can see that there are another bit of issues for the tank. First of all, it is the armor. While it is decent on the armor profile, it's not the best. It's going to struggle on Tier 8. You know, Tier 8s are easily going to cut through the armor. And, yeah, we've already managed to lose pretty much all of our HP, which is not necessarily the best. So, oh boy, this is not going the best for me anymore. So let's see if we can get a shell. At least we got one shell out onto the T-28 prototype. We got spotted, but we got the T-49, who looks like he's trying to come up behind us here. So let's turn our very fast Tier 7, and let's slap that 49, or not. I kind of want to rush him, to be fair. The issue is that we don't really have a lot of things going for us. And the mobility, as I said, is not one of them. So, oh, we got the Cheery up at the top as well. Let's put on that adrenaline, and let's start getting some shells into that Cheery. So that's 2 shells already into him. And we've taken off a big old chunk of his tank. There's 1 shell into the T-49. Let's see if we can get another end. Come on, yes, a beautiful tracking shot. I believe in you. Get him, keep shooting him here. Oh, he missed the shell. Yes, you don't mess with the mighty T-49. Well, actually, I guess I'm not really running a T-49 now, am I? But we've brought what was a full health T-49 down to a very small amount of HP. You really don't want to mess with this vehicle if you're running it correctly. Now, we got to be careful here, again, to make sure that we don't get hit. There's a nice little slap into the T-49 once again here. And honestly, yeah, he's got to start being very careful on what he does do. So he might pop up behind us, which would be very bad for me. I don't know what necessarily the Cheery is doing, but if I play this correctly, we should be able to, I'm not sure really what we're going to plan to do here, but if I play it correctly, we might be able to get a shell into the enemy T-49. Go! Look at the speed. It's uncanny. Oh, boy. All right, we're going to turn around here. I don't think the 49 is going to be waiting for us. I think he's going to try and maybe juke us, come around the middle spot here, come up behind me. Oh, there's the Cheery. Okay, let's start getting some shells into you. We also got the 49 off to the side, who, if we're correct here, we can get a nice little HE into. No, turn. Yes. Okay, we did it correctly. Now we can get to the side of this guy. Now let's start putting on that DPM. Come on, I believe in you. DPM is key. DPM. Okay, you know what? We might die. However, we are not dead yet, which is quite impressive. And let's turn. Yes, you cannot take out the AT-15. So, you can see the great things about this tank is that it does have good armor. This T-49 is struggling immensely to take us out. And not only that, but we were able to shoot the vehicle like the Cheery there and absolutely demolish it in the DPM. We were able to sit there, confidently bounce a lot of the shells. You can see all of the ricochets on the front of this vehicle. It really does have fantastic armor. So we were able to literally bounce all the Cheery shells, take a massive chunk of his HP off. How many shells do we bounce? About 9 shells that game. So you can see the armor is pretty dang good if played correctly. We were able to support our team and knock a massive amount of HP off that 49, 1200, and as well take 1000 off of the Cheery. And that was in a game where I was dealing with light tanks and mediums that I couldn't really normally fight too well. We played it correctly, we knew how to angle it, and well, it worked pretty dang well. I thankfully managed to track that T-49. One of the issues with a smaller damaging gun is that, of course, it's harder to track tier 8 and 7 vehicles with small damage guns. If you're using 122, it's very easy to track a vehicle like the 49. You shoot it right in the track wheel, damages the track, and it breaks it. However, an AT-15 with only a, what is it, like a 75 millimeter really struggles. Actually, I think it's a 20 pound or something like that. All I know is that it really struggles to take apart tracks, so that's one thing you always have to worry about. Now, this game, we're going to try and push it a little bit more heavy. We've got the Emil 1, the P-44 Pantera, AMX M445, ooh, and a T-28. They got actually a very heavy lineup. Even the Ferdinand I kind of count as a heavy tank, so we're going to have to see what we can do here. Now, the armor is going to be decent up against the AMX, going to be decent against the T-28 Defender if it's using AP. Same for the Emil if it's using AP, but there's a lot of big weak spots. The cupola on the roof is big, and when you're up against tier 6s, that is more like the Goldilocks position for this tank because you are able to slap them to shreds. Not only can you beat them, but the crazy thing about this vehicle against tier 7s and 6s is that they really struggle to pen you as well. So the one nice thing again about this tank is that I have more damage per minute than every vehicle on my team and as well the enemy team, which is great. That means that I can rip apart enemy tanks like no tomorrow. So we got the SU, and there's already one shell into him. He bounced us, of course, because we've got that good armor. So we've already taken off a big chunk from that SU-152. We've taken off 400, and now we can get maybe some shells into that Pantera. There's 2 shells into the Pantera, so he tapped us for 1 shell, and we were able to tap him twice. So again, we are on the advantage here for the hit points taken off of enemy tanks. So let's see if we can get one more. No. All right, here we go. Let's reload and fire. Oh, well, we tracked him. You know what? I'll take a tracking shot. That's not bad. Let's see if we can start getting shells into the Pantera. There's 1 shell in. There's 2 shells in. Come on, we can keep getting them out. I believe in you, AT. Oh, gee, you can see that, yeah, the gun's shell velocity is not necessarily the best. It definitely struggles. Now, we did get a nice bounce from the AMX M4 there, and you know what? We're just going to keep pushing. Let's go. Use the excellent mobility of this tank. We got the Ferdinand off to the side over here. Maybe we can get a shell into him. I believe in the tank. Oh, gee, this is not necessarily what I wanted. We got the AMX off to the side. There's at least 1 shell into the AMX. I'll take it. It's better than none. Now we got the Ferdinand over here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, gee. Oh, he bounced us. Yes. Okay, so there's 1 shell into the Ferdinand. Now we rip him apart with the crazy DPM. And the crazier part is that we would actually have out-reloaded him there. So now we got the AMX off to the side. There's 1 shell. Yeah, you can see what makes this tank so strong, though, is the gun is literally cracked. Like, the ability just to rip enemy hit points to shreds like no tomorrow is crazy. So we got the Emil all the way in the back of the map. We also got tanks like the M41 Bulldog pushing right out in the middle, who there's a very nice roll actually there for 250. So we've already dealt. Ooh, actually, nice shot from that ISU there, ripping that Bulldog to pieces. So that's it that's left is the Emil 1, and we did a good job again. We held for our team. We bounced quite a bit of shells on the frontal armor. You can see the armor does work quite well on the vehicle if you run it correctly. And again, we did about 2,200 damage in a tier 8 game. Normally, you would struggle to get out the damage, but a 3.5 second reload for 200 damage is insane. That makes an E25 seem bad, so I absolutely love the AT-15, and honestly, it's not a terrible tank to get your hands on. It's, I think it's about $15. I would wait for it to come really cheap in the store because, of course, Wargaming, just like the IS-6 bundle currently, will probably bring this for a nice bundle with 30 days of premium, a couple, you know, 100,000 credits or something like that. You can see, though, that it earns good credits, and honestly, it's a really fun tank to run. I've been doing crazy damage in this vehicle. I think one of my games was almost 5,000 pulled out. So I'm really enjoying the AT-15A. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video just as much as I enjoyed the tank. But other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Of course, if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and to be seeing you in the next one.